The chandeliers glowed like frozen stars above the vast ballroom, casting golden light across marble floors and white roses arranged in towering crystal vases. It was meant to be the most beautiful wedding of the year, possibly the decade. A union of two powerful families, with hundreds of guests in attendance. Reporters waited outside. Photographers filled the sides of the room. And the bride, Evelyn Hartwell, was perfection in ivory silk and antique lace. Her long veil shimmered like a waterfall. As she walked down the aisle, her eyes locked on the groom waiting at the altar, Julian Blake. The heir to a global real estate empire. But Julian's eyes weren't the same. He didn't smile. He didn't look at her the way a groom should. Something had changed. Still, Evelyn walked gracefully, clutching her father's arm. Unaware of the storm about to break, the ceremony began as expected. The priest welcomed everyone, speaking of love, loyalty, and the sacred bond of marriage. Guests whispered how elegant Evelyn looked, how lucky Julian was, how perfect the match seemed, and then, just before the priest asked them to exchange vows, Julian stepped forward and held up his hand. "I have something to say," he said sharply. The room froze. Evelyn turned toward him, confused. He didn't reach for her hand. Instead, he turned to the crowd and spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. "This wedding should not go on," he said. "I can't marry someone who lies." A collective gasp swept through the hall. Evelyn's heart stopped. "What are you talking about?" she whispered. Julian raised his voice, cruel and cold. "Evelyn isn't the woman everyone thinks she is. She pretends to be graceful, innocent, charming. But the truth is, she's been playing a role, manipulating me, manipulating all of you." Murmurs filled the hall. People leaned closer. "Phones were lifted, I found out a week ago," Julian continued. "She came into my life not because she loved me, but because she wanted my money, my name, my connections." Evelyn stared at him, wide-eyed, her breath caught in her throat. Her cheeks flushed, not from guilt, but from rage and humiliation. Her mother gasped. Her father clenched his fists. Her best friend covered her mouth. Eyes welling with tears, Julian wasn't done. "She faked everything," he said, his voice dripping with disdain. "Even now, look at her shocked. Maybe, but guilty, definitely. So no, I won't marry her, and I suggest she leave now, before she embarrasses herself more." Silence followed. A sickening, stunned silence. Stepped forward, took the microphone from the priest's trembling hand, and looked out over the sea of shocked, judgmental faces. Her voice was calm, even soft, but it carried through the hall with unwavering clarity. "You're right, Julian," she said. "This wedding should not go on, but not for the reasons you think." Julian blinked. His confidence faltered. "I didn't lie to you," Evelyn said. "I loved you. I believed in you. I supported you when you doubted yourself, when you fought with your father, when you felt like the world didn't see you as more than your last name. I was there. I gave you everything." She turned to the crowd. "All of you, sitting there, in your fine clothes, judging me, ask yourselves, do you know me? Have you ever seen me do anything cruel, selfish, or fake?" No one answered. They watched her, riveted. "I don't need his name," Evelyn said. "I come from a family of strength and dignity. I was raised with values. My father is a man of honor, and my mother taught me to never stoop to revenge or petty games. So I won't. I won't scream. I won't cry, but I will speak the truth." She turned to Julian again. "You were never betrayed by me. You were threatened by me. I saw your weaknesses. I saw the boy behind the mask, and you hated that. You thought I'd bow to you, worship you, let you shine while I stayed small, but I never would." Julian's hands tightened at his sides. "You're the one who lied, Julian," she said, her voice sharper now. "You told me you wanted a partner, but what you really wanted was a puppet." Gasps again. But this time, they weren't in her direction. "And one last thing," Evelyn added. "I didn't come here to marry a prince. I came here to marry a man. And you're no man." She dropped the microphone. Silence, and then thunderous applause. One guest stood, then another, then another. The entire room rose in a standing ovation, echoing with claps and cheers. Evelyn didn't cry. She didn't flinch. She simply turned, picked up the train of her gown, and walked out of the ballroom with her head held high, not as a humiliated bride, but as a woman who refused to be broken and as the heavy doors closed behind her, Julian stood alone at the altar, drowning in the silence he had created, while the world watched the real star of the day walk away in grace.